Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Windsor Art Center. This is an organization that's nonprofit and has been operating for about 17 years in Windsor. And we're happy to have this relationship with the town's Human Relations Commission. And this is actually the first of 3 events that we're going to cooperate with them on this year. And as we've done in the past, we're excited to share the space that we're in right now. If you may not know it, Windsor Art Center is more than just a gallery. We manage 5 studios for artists in the building that's the train station, was the former train station. And we have a classroom there where we have over 140 classes for adult art during the year. And we also utilize this space for other events, for other organizations. And if at this time of year you're feeling a little stressed out, we have the yoga for stress reduction on Sunday nights. Just check our website and sign up to participate. One of the things that I think would be interesting for people to know is that with the art exhibits that we show here they can be addressed in several different ways, and we try to do this and not just putting them on the wall, but they're on the wall. We have a reception with the artist, so you have an opportunity to meet the artist, to talk and see with a group of other people what the art is about. You have the opportunity to attend an artist talk. The artists are scheduled to speak and talk about their art. And then you have the opportunity to come into the gallery on a Thursday night or a Saturday or a Sunday and experience the art privately or with your friends. And I think those are the ways that we begin to understand a little bit about this art and culture. So our first exhibit, and it's up on the wall, part of it is up on the wall right now, is for the year, is the Unveiled Silence. This will run from January 20th to March 3rd. And it's with the opening reception next Saturday, January 20, at 5 p.m. There will be an artist talk on Saturday, January 27th at 2 p.m. This exhibit is by 2 women from Iran who will shed light on the struggles that women have in Iran. So it's a timely topic, and we look forward to presenting it and hearing from the artist. We'd like to also acknowledge that one of our board members is being acknowledged this year with a Connecticut Arts Hero Award. Gabby Barnes, who is a board member, she's being honored for her work, and on January 24th, the CT Office of the Arts will recognize her along with others who they consider arts heroes. Finally, before I leave and turn this over to Cassie, I'd like to recognize that we have some important people in the house. We have our mayor, Nichette Blackburk, and we have Jane Garibay, our representative in the state legislature. Thank you for coming. I hope they have some good poetry that they want to share. All right, so let me turn this over. As I said, we're really happy as the Windsor Art Center to have the opportunity to open the space up and allow a group like the Windsor Human Relations Commission to put on this event.
Excellent, thank you, Jim. All right, so welcome everyone, good evening, and thank you for coming to our event. This is an annual Martin Luther King Jr. open mic poetry event. So every January we kick off the new year with having an open mic opportunity for community members, special guests to share art and poetry. And we're proud to collaborate with the Windsor Art Center on providing an event that engages with the community's creativity. So before we get started, I have a couple thank yous to say. I'd like to thank Marcia Hinckley and the Hinkleys for their dedication, support, and time for making this event possible. So I wanted to give you a special shout out, Marcia. I would also like to thank our venue, the Windsor Art Center, WinTV, who is filming for recording tonight's event, and to all of the Windsor Human Relations Commission's volunteers. You can give a wave, commissioners. And finally, I would especially like to thank our keynote speaker, Manchester Poet Laureate Ryan Parker, for sharing your craft tonight, and to Versatile Poetic for being a phenomenal host. We would really enjoy having you at all of our events. So thank you both for being here tonight. So to make this event possible, please consider donating so events like this can happen. You'll see there's a little vase or vase in the back if you'd like to consider having a monetary donation, or you can volunteer for the town of Windsor if you would like to volunteer your time that way. So I also have a little bit about our group before we get started. So the Windsor Human Relations Commission was established to help with the promotion of better understanding and respect among racial, religious, and ethnic groups and individuals in the town. It shall pursue a community-wide program of education to further intergroup understanding and to discourage and eliminate prejudice, intolerance, bigotry, and discrimination. It shall concern itself with equal opportunities in housing employment for all said groups and individuals in other areas where tensions between persons or groups exist or might exist. Our vision in the WHRC is local citizens working towards a united community. So if you're interested in joining the commission, please speak with one of our commissioners. We're happy to connect and talk about how to join. And finally, before I turn it over and read Versatile's bio, I just have a couple of housekeeping things before we get started. So first, as mentioned, WinTV will be recording the event, so we will have an open mic portion. There is a sign up in the back if you would like to sign up and read a poem. It doesn't have to be yours. It could be one that you are passionate about that really inspires you. You can also sing, dance, do a little number if that floats your boat. And we will, after our open mic event, we will be moving on into the next part of our event. If you don't want to be seen by the mic, or not the mic, by the videos, you can stand by where the cookies are. That's fine. We are very flexible in making sure that everyone feels comfortable here. So our program for tonight is starting off with welcoming remarks, which we're just about done with. Then I'm going to pass the mic to Versatile for our open mic community session, and then we'll have a 7-ish minute break in between, so you can have some soda and cookies and water before we conclude our event with our keynote speaker and closing remarks. So at the end of the event, I do want to mention that we do a group picture. You're not obligated to do it, but we encourage everyone who would like to be in that group picture at the end. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to introduce our hosts and then turn it over to Versatile. So Britannia Versatile Poetic Tatum was born at Hartford Hospital. She was raised for 9 years in Simsbury, Connecticut, and 10 years in Avon, Connecticut. She played basketball throughout high school with aspirations of playing in college. She graduated from Avon High School in 2005. In the fall of 2005, she attended University of Hartford as a marketing major. She put away her basketball sneakers and picked up a pen to become a poet. She graduated from UHart with a business administration degree in May of 2009. She has been performing spoken word for 15 years and teaching spoken word for 12 years. She works for the Charter Oak Cultural Center and Arts for Learning, Connecticut. She was a spoken word teacher at the Greater Hartford Academy of the Arts on the Colton campus from 2014 to 2015. She performed in front of 20,000 people at the Greater Hartford Jazz Festival in 2019 and 2021. She hosted the Trinity International Hip Hop Festival in 2019, and she was the keynote speaker at the Connecticut Association of Schools High Schools Outstanding Arts Award ceremony in April 2023, and hosted the Hartford Creative Arts ceremony for 4th to 12th grade in June of 2023. Her stage name is Versatile Poetic due to her universal appeal and unique mix of spoken word and rap. She has all her students call her Miss Versatile. So without further ado, the mic is yours.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to my show. When I say versatile, you say poetic. Versatile. Poetic. Versatile. Poetic. Versatile. Poetic. My name is Versatile Poetic. Hello, beautiful people. How are you? I'm honored to be here today. Thank you very much, Cassie, for that introduction. Shout out to the Windsor Art Center for having me once again. So before I get started, I have a question for the room. Who can tell me what a community poem is? Yes.
A poem where everyone helps to make it.
Yes, you get the snaps. I am a snap-off because I am a poet, and I believe it is important to also know your history of even where snapping comes from. The Beatniks, 1950s, they were a poetry reading group. They held poetry readings in the basement of an apartment complex in New York City. And they would snap because clapping was too loud and they didn't want to disturb their neighbors, okay? And when you snap, you can hold your water, or for me, your microphone in the other hand. If you cannot snap, you can rub your fingers together, okay? So I will be doing a lot of snapping. So with all of you, before we get started, I'm a strong believer in community poems, okay? So our theme of this community poem today is Legacy Is. So how this works, you write 1 to 2 sentences and you just pass it on to the next person. You read what that person wrote and you do your best to respond to what that person says. It gives the poem flow. If you cannot do that, try to stick on topic of what legacy is to you, if that's fair enough, okay? And then at the end, I will have our keynote speaker read it, if that is okay, okay? The only thing, these poems are great, the only thing that's a little tricky is reading other people's handwriting, okay? You know, they're the greatest poems, so just do your best to be as legible as possible. Who would like to kick it off? Who's bold enough? First person I see, thank you. And here, actually not that pen, we're gonna switch to this pen, okay? Thank you very much. Also, I teach poetry and I always tell young people, so there's a date on there. If you ever give someone a, let's say a greeting card, write the date inside the card on the right-hand corner. So when people keep their cards and they look back, they know what year and date they got the card. Just a little fun tip. Okay. Is it okay to kick it off with a poem for you, if that's okay, before we get started? This poem, I bring this poem into schools. My poetry is pretty strong. Oh, by the way, I forgot to introduce my friends. Oh, sorry. Yes, this is Little Verse, and this is Little Poetic. Normally in the classroom, I'll take one and we throw Little Verse or Poetic around and rhyme, okay? Words or sentences. Also, I'm a tour guide at the Henry Beecher Stowe Center. You can catch me on a Friday. If it's kids tours, I have Little Verse and Little Poetic just hanging out. So I figured Little Verse and Little Poetic could hang out with you fine people. They are very sentimental to me. I lost my mom to colon cancer in 2021. They belong to her. So it's this real connection. She's always with me. Cute sweaters, right? Cute. I wish I could ask her where she got them from. You know. So that's the history of that. But proceeding forward, the poem. Let's see if I can get through it. It's called Black, White. Black, white, white, black. That's how you act. It's a historical fact. Right, wrong, wrong, right. Chalk lectures the blackboard. Knowledge ignites the candle for history to rewrite the manual. Ebonics ride to curses from society, dumping bodies in the black hearse. It's too deep to reverse. Learn song notes plain until you pale. Melting pot created by white arms holding the hammer. Crystals in the black hands crack the cement in the cell. Darkness buried in the box. Numb from the oxy, picking at the cotton. Breathing the gin, swallow the jack. So with the black to stay on track, test your ability, hear the possibility, play the versatility, a black-white commodity, black bags of hope burned in vain, name calling Cain, wet out your brain, agony stains like pain, wetter than the rain. Blind eyes see the flash of logic, it's symbolic, factual, actual, use your ways to free your sense to seize the moment. From righteous to one, black, white, it magnifies poetic. The words are kinetic, black ash of truth chipping away the tooth. A colorblind rhyme injected into the thoughts of a colorblind mind. Black ink walking across the white paper, saluting success. White out the black mistakes, enslaving his progress. A colorless world, a colorless rainbow, a colorless disaster. So I speak of holding black white as the color happily ever after. Black cards drawn from bank accounts and the models of excuses. White stars talking to the black sky, a white live reality. Black-white composition books tracing souls to nationality. White lines sniffed into black holes of fear. Chess game, black-white players, separated segregation. King had dreams of black-white. One congregation. The 60s purchased desegregation, and the millennium returned sugar-coated separation. Oreo cookies dipped in milk by innocent kids across the nation. Black-white reflecting beauty spots on a Dalmatian from 100 to 1. Salt and pepper, push it together. A tasteful melody, bowls of ecstasy, whips of chocolate, white of the cream. Black-white, trick-or-treat, strange struggle, everyone trying to eat. Differences drowned in color, tears dried with similarity. Principles of the Constitution bleeding on the root of morality. White sheets find the cool, scream out clucks, call your clan superiority. Black Panthers fighting by any X means the necessary. Eerie feelings, writing words, talking talks. For me, a missionary. Black, white, see the light in unity. Resurrect the community. Piece to piece, solve the puzzle. Left to right, hip to hop, pitch to black. See the sight, vision, the light. Live the life. Peace, black, white. Thank you very much. Okay, our list. Now, you beautiful people, I apologize ahead of time if I mispronounce your name, okay? If you want to come up here and correct me when I call you up, please do, okay? Because your name is very important, right? Learn how to pronounce people's names, people, if that's okay. First up on the list, Beth Gibbs. Beth Gibbs, please. Come bless the line.
Thank you. Okay, let's get this open. Hang on a second. Okay, so I'm going to be reading an excerpt from a short story I wrote from my book of short stories titled Soul Food, Life-Affirming Stories, served with side dishes and just desserts. The story's title is Mama Rose's Kitchen. So in this portion of the story, Brian Albright, a white reporter from New York, covers a story about the Georgia voter suppression laws of 2021 and discovers how history, family, and politics interact in Barrington, Georgia, a small town in Fulton County. I know that name rings a bell. So in this scene, he's interviewing Maybelle Rose Cartwright. She is the owner of Mama Rose's Kitchen, and she's just been acquitted by a jury of breaking the voter suppression law. Well, what do you want to ask me? Well, Ms. Maybelle, my first question is, how can you operate a restaurant and a bar in a residential neighborhood? She chuckled. Oh, it's a long story. See, my grandma Rose began feeding folk from the front porch during the Depression. My mom kept up the tradition. Soon folks started leaving money on the tables, so she started serving supper 2 nights during the week plus Sunday dinner after church. Then Elliot, that's my husband, and I expanded it to serving meals every day but Monday. And here we are. But Miss Maybell, what about the permits and the liquor license? Her chuckle turned into a belly laugh. Oh, right, you from up north. Miss Maybell then gave this Yankee a quick lesson of how things work in Barrington. The town got its name from the Barrington family, who owned the land in the 1600s and operated the area's largest cotton plantation. Maybell's ancestors were enslaved there. After the Civil War, they worked as sharecroppers, housemaids, and mammies for the Barrington family. Well, today, she said, their descendants run the town. They turn a blind eye to what we do. I think they see it as some form of reparations. At that moment, the sound of feet pounding up the steps caught our attention. I turned to see a large, red-faced, angry white man in a beige suit and a straw Panama hat open the screen door, step in, and stop when he saw me. The man took off his hat, cleared his throat, and said, I'm hoping we can let bygones be bygones, Maybell. It was nothing personal, you know. You know I don't have nothing against you or the others. I was just doing my job. I watched Maybell Rose Cartwright jump out of her chair, storm over to the man, point a finger in his face and say, Wyatt Maynard Barrington, in this town, with our history, everything political is personal. And by God, you better understand that and remember that before you come near me in the future. Oh, Maybell. He started to say something else, but glancing at me, thought better of it, clapped his hat on his head, turned and left. And I asked, who is he, Ms. Maybell? He's my cousin, and he's the sheriff, and he arrested me last fall. Your cousin? But he's, yeah, don't look surprised, young man. It's not the first time his family and mine got together one way or another. And like it or not, we're related. Hell's bells, if truth be told, half the black folk in this town are related to half the white folk in this town. It's what you might call an open secret. Anyway, he's the main reason Elliot and I don't worry about permits or a liquor license. It's a family thing, or at least it was. Well, Miss Maybell, would you tell me how all this started? Sure. The latest chapter in our town's long, complicated story began last spring, when the governor signed a new voter suppression bill into law. The part that set my teeth on edge said it's now illegal to give food and water to folks standing in line to vote. Well, did you break the law? I asked. Of course not, she snorted. The letter of the law is clear as a bell. My problem was, and is, with the spirit behind it. Well, what do you mean by the spirit of the law? I asked. Brian, the spirit of the law is meant to make it harder for us to vote. The white folk are scared that if we get power, we'll do to them like they've done to us. So they close the polling places and they limit hours to the ones that are open. It means long lines on the weekends when the polls are open. It's enough to shame the devil, or it ought to be. My family's been feeding folks for generations, so it was a no-brainer for Elliot and me to find ways around both the letter and spirit of the law to help folks vote. Well, now, Miss Maybell, if you followed the letter of the law, why did Wyatt's arrest statement charge you for violating it? She smiled, and I could tell there was another lesson coming my way about how things worked in the South. Oh, Brian, he didn't arrest me on the letter of the law. He arrested me, handcuffed me, stuffed me into one of his damn patrol cars, and hauled me off to jail because of the spirit of the law. Well, surely, Miss Maybell, he must have known it wouldn't stand up in court. Oh, he knew. He was pressured from the top. In the North, you all have a saying, DWB, driving while black. Well, down here, it's VWB, voting while black. And family or not, Wyatt's a damn coward. Well, are you going to mend things with him? Well, I'm working on forgiveness because I'm a Christian. In my heart, Wyatt loves me like family. In his mind, he thinks he's better than me because he's white. Still, but his mind, not his heart, still dictates what his behind does. She stopped then and said, "Oh my, that wasn't kind. My apologies. Please don't print that." I didn't. The following year, I took another trip south to follow up on the story. A lot had changed. Georgia elected its first woman governor, who happens to be black. Miss Maybell had been elected to the Barrington City Council for a 2-year term. Wyatt lost his bid to be reelected as sheriff. She and Wyatt have tentatively reconciled. Miss Maybell is hoping that his gut and his heart will eventually change his mind and his behind, but she's not holding her breath. Thank you.
I know. It's hard. You can snap and clap, okay? It goes both ways. Thank you. Beth, we still have some of those issues today. We still have some of those issues that you're talking about today. Being a tour guide at the Heritage Historical Center, you know she wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin, and we're about social justice, so we try to make connections to when she wrote the book, which was published in 1852. It was 2024, and we're dealing with some of the same issues, unfortunately, okay? So, next up, if you haven't signed up, I see some beautiful people walked in. Sign up sheet for the open mic, I have it here. Liz Burke, please come on down, Liz Burke. And for those of you who just came in, we have a community poem going around. The theme is Legacy Is.
All right. I wrote this poem in honor of Antoinette Brimbell. She is our state poet laureate, and I met her here. And she told the story of having wanted to be a dancer as a child. And the dance instructor told her that she couldn't be a dancer because she was too tall, and her bottom was too big. And so she didn't become a dancer. But later on, years later, she became a poet. And the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater contacted her. And as dancers performed their dances, her poetry was read aloud, and so she was able to prevail. And I was thinking about Dr. King. In his I Have a Dream speech, he wrote, "It's never too early to help your children envision their own future. What do you want to be when you grow up is a great question to pose. They might not eventually become the firefighter or policewoman they aspire to now, but by reminding them of their dreams, you're reinforcing that whatever they believe they can achieve. You're showing that you have faith in them. You're building their self-confidence." So this is to Antoinette Brimbell. She told the young girl, the beautiful dancing girl with long legs and lithe body and excitement in her eyes, "You will never be a dancer. You're too tall. Your body shape is wrong. Don't dance." She shattered the young girl, the beautiful dark-skinned girl with long legs and lithe body and sadness in her eyes. She would never be a dancer. Her dreams were too tall. Hope was lost. Dancing stopped. The universe urged the girl, the beautiful girl with the long legs and lithe body and wonderful words, "Dance with your pen. You have always been a dancer. Write." The audience saw a beautiful young girl with long legs and lithe body and pure joy on her face, spinning and leaping to the gorgeous words from the young girl, now woman. The winds carried her words, the words of the beautiful woman with the long legs and lithe body and hope-filled smile to other stages where her poetry wafted in elation, forever dancing.
Beautiful, Liz Burke. And we had that Poet Laureate Antoinette was here, right? Remember last year? She was beautiful. She was phenomenal. So next up, I have on the list And the list is up front, okay, if you'd like to sign up. Hello, beautiful people, I see some friends walked in, that's put you on the spot. Well, thank you for being here. I have Laurel Pepe. Please, Laurel Pepe. Ooh, Laurel, I'm excited for this. How's our community poem doing? Community poem?
It landed with me.
Oh, it landed with you. Okay, I was waiting for you after this, Laura, no problem. No, you're fine.
So I actually had the amazing opportunity to exhibit my artwork and poetry in this space like a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, and I'm so pleased to be able to share my poetry with you again, and thank the Art Center for their commitment to artwork in our community, because it's really, really important.
Hey, look, I came to that art exhibit and it was dope. All the poems are dope, the visuals were dope. It was
Thank you.
You left
Thank
the
you.
space, really.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you. So my poetry is inspired by the miracles that I find in creation. So I'm going to share 3 poems about the miracles I found in creation. The first one is dedicated to Judge Kevin Washington. And then the title of the poem is Sublime. And that is what the poem is about. That is a picture of the most amazing seaweed on the shore of Iona, which is off the coast of Scotland. That's seaweed, and inspired this poem. I may never understand how the great swirling gases of Jupiter hold together as a planet with no ground. I may never understand the physiology of muscles and tendons that lets my hand write of my fleeting amazements. I may never understand how we discovered that the slight difference in mass between a neutron and a proton lets birds and stars and us exist. I may never understand why our eyes evolved to see only a small spectrum of all the light waves that radiate. I may not be here when we discover what is the dark energy that drives our universe to accelerate its expansion. And I may not be here when we learn the secret language entangled particles use to communicate faster than the speed of light. And yet, just being witness to the imagination, the genius, the passion that each of us contributes to exploring the great mysteries is the fuel of my creativity. Okay. This is an infrared image taken from the former Millbrook Golf Course. It's reflected infrared light. The title of the poem is Cart Path. A path taken or abandoned or missed is dreadful or limitless to encounter. The arrow of time points in one direction. It is inescapable. It is a feature of the universe I inhabit. It bends, it speeds up, it slows down, but it never goes back to be reclaimed. And I know this doesn't look like much. This is an image of the Pinwheel Galaxy taken from my backyard. The title of the poem is Regret. It begins with a quote from Guy Tall's book on the interior landscape. He's a photographer. What you do or fail to do now will determine what you may someday look back on with either pride or regret. I choose pride. and a definition from Wikipedia. In physics, a conductor is an object or material that allows the flow of energy in one or more directions. And a fact, there was a core collapse supernova in the Pinwheel Galaxy in May, SN 2023 IXF. Regret. Regret conducts me, a force like the dark energy that pushes our universe wider, a lighthouse warning of judgment and self-doubt, a barb. It gives agency to my search for meaning in all light's emanations. Even dim, distant, distorted light contains magic. Inexperience, disappointments, failures are preferable. The Pinwheel Galaxy is 21 million light years away from Earth. I have a swamp and a 10-year-old camera, and I know that I received a little bit of supernova light, a photon or two of this extraordinary event. Regret is a place I never want to meet. Thank you.
Give it up for Laurel. Yeah. Beautiful. I paint with my words. You know, I'm one of those. I wish I, had that talent. And it coexists, doesn't it? Right? That was phenomenal. Thank you so much for that. Next up, we have Alexis Mitchell. Alexis Mitchell, please come bless the mic.
Hi, everyone. Hi. When I think of Dr. King, I think of peace. And this is an old poem written in '99. And maybe there's some that were not even born then. Thinking about peace, or the lack thereof, made me choose the poems that I selected today. And this one is called Millennium Pause. I have been to my holy place, and my temple has been defiled. I am recording these words as a wounded child. The ghosts of the past confront me not, because my ancestors have chosen to let them rot. I am crisscrossing the planet in search of my holy grail, and what I've found fills a rancid pail. I need my holy place back to offer sacred succor. Why have the heathens, cheaters, liars, and thieves made it a place of rancor? Give me help. Give me solace. I beg the expansive universe for the peace, for peace within and without. Please, please, for all the holy places, give us peace. This one is called You and Me. I look at you and see the world, my friend. We are from vastly varied parts of the globe, but we originate from the same species. So we are much more alike than we are different. I look into your eyes and see reflected back my own. I won't hate and kill you because I've been told to do so. For in your eyes, I see my own soul. This one is called One Ocean. You know, there is only one ocean connecting all of the continents. The maps show a flow of water uninterrupted by artificial boundaries. One part of the ocean is not purple, while another part is puce. The oceans are all one body of water, with the continents plunked down in it. I see it clearly, like bathers jumping in the waves at the seashore. The earth is all one planet with one race of people called humans. How did we come to believe that the water far from us was so different from that near to us? How did we decide that there was danger in water we couldn't see? We knew it was all the same water. We watched in awe as pictures of our Earth were beamed from spacecrafts. We could see it was one body of water with puzzle pieces that had separated. It's up to us to put the puzzle back together and embrace our sisters and brothers who all drink the same water as we. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Alexis Mitchell. Next up, Sydney Hollowell. I like your sweater.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Sydney. I'm from Loomis, and my family comes from the Omaha tribe in Nebraska. And I'm going to be reading two of my original poems today. So my first one is called Nightmares from Daydreams. Dreaming of meeting the culture I desperately attach myself to, dreaming of the greetings, being welcomed for once, dancing my people's folk dance, genocide haunting me, running away from evil, natives will never be free, hurting for family so distant and nearly non-existent, dreaming of the regalia that I used to dance in as a child, flourishing, so young and naive, it was too easy not to be deceived. Death, relatives forced onto a reservation, death, dying because of inequality, being forced to the white man's policies, hoping of a better life for my family, yet everything is a tragedy, praying for generations after me, yet somehow knowing our culture will soon be lost. And my second poem is called Star Spangled Banner. Describe freedom. Okay. Freedom is being forced on a reservation. Freedom is facing genocide. Freedom is burying young children. This country's corrupt with its secrets, hiding its history, the truth. Freedom is being the last to be free. Freedom is being beat for speaking your own language. Freedom is being stripped of everything. No apologies, no teachings. Covering the atrocities with your star-spangled banner. Freedom is escaping the reservations. It's fighting back genocide, avenging the lost souls. We'll never stop. We'll haunt. We'll always be here.
Sydney Hollowell. Loomis High School. Very impressive. Next up, I have Johanna Gonzalez. If I mispronounce your name, I apologize ahead of time. please come down. Yeah, and shout out to the high schoolers here, okay? Shout out to anyone who's come up to the mic. It's not easy to stand in front of people and express yourself. Thank you. Say it to them so they know.
Hi, my name is Jayana Gonzalez. I'm 14. And I wrote a poem about Dr. Martin Luther King and the stuff that we're still facing today. Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream. 61 years later, we're still fighting for that dream. And it seems like we've made progress, but in reality, an officer just got convicted for shooting a man last week. Just for being black and wearing a ski, little did they know that man was special needs. And he wore that ski because he was cold and didn't know what it means. He wasn't trying to rob a store, participate in any suspicious activity. He just wanted to walk to a store and get himself some candy. But that ended his life, so here's some advice. Racism is like lice, it spreads from your head to your bed, but if you stop at the head, it won't spread. When Dr. Martin Luther King said he had a dream, he means he wants us all to be equal. Instead of fighting, he wants us to enlighten each other. It's better than fighting each other because we brighten each other.
Wow, thank you. 14. I didn't even write poetry at 14. That's impressive. Next up, I have Selena Willis. Selena Willis, come on down. How's the community poem going? Good, okay, we're moving, excellent.
Thank you so much. I have to tell you a little story about this first poem that I wrote. I took a chance. My son was, let's see, I have three, but my oldest, well, two boys and a girl, so I have three children. They're all adults now. But my oldest was reading the paper, and at the time, all he was really doing was journaling, and on the opposite side of the paper was an amateur writing poetry contest. So I kind of nudged him and I said, "Hey, Rob, what do you think? You think I should enter the contest?" He's like, "Yeah, right, Ma." Stand a chance. So, I had to go like this. And I said, "Well, I'm just going to sit down. I'm going to write a poem. It's called To Nurture Thyself." And a few months later, by the International Library of Poetry, a few months later, they wrote back and said, I was a semi-finalist. Y'all, I took the paper. I said, "Yeah, what's right now for him discussion?" He said, "Yeah, that's okay." I said, "That's all the love I get?" Well, this was in 1999. Somebody else mentioned that. In May of 1999, the International Library of Poetry honored me with the Editor's Choice Award. I went back to him again. I said, "What do you think now, son?" He said, "Well, to tell you the truth, Ma, I was only using reverse psychology." I don't even know he knew what that meant. So thank you for letting me share that story. Okay, now I have to get up. It was really funny. So he told me every time I read my poem that I have to share that story. So that's what I have to. Okay, so I'm not very technologically involved here, so I have to get my poem back again. Bear with me.
We support you. We support you. Take your time.
Okay. Yeah, because the more nervous I get, the longer it's going to take. Okay, so. And of course, I hope my glasses work, so, okay. Here we go.
Everything's good.
Yeah, everything's good. Okay. So, it is called To Nurture Thyself. To nurture thyself, remember to take the time. Oh, just went. And make the effort. Acknowledge that there may be an absence of a need or a feeling. Recognize the desire to promote a change. To nurture thyself, believe wholeheartedly that you are worth it. Only you should and need to supply for self-satisfaction. No one else will really be able to fulfill this emptiness in a way that you should. To nurture thyself, create opportunities to feel freed from worry, frustration, anger, and disappointment. Well, just on a side note, at 63, I'm still not doing that too good. To nurture thyself, be able to find simple pleasure in the unexpected and planned events that fill your life. That should make you smile. To nurture thyself, hope to continue to love others and be loved in return the same way, with respect, integrity, honesty, and wisdom. To nurture thyself, have the desire and inspiration to continue to be willing to lend a hand, a helping hand for support. Also, be available to receive that same support in return for self as needed. Believe in, live by, and hold in high regards. To nurture thyself, remember that you have basic needs and urgencies that require time. Uptake these internal responses and become efficient at meeting these intrinsic needs. Thank you for letting me share.
Selena Willis, thank you for that. I hope I'm as bright and spunky as you when I'm 63, if I live to see the day. Next up, the beautiful wife of our keynote speaker, Catherine Parker.
This is called a seed. When I was young, my uncle told me a story of a watermelon field in Turkey that he walked through. Garbed in his sand-colored fatigues, the men each stole a watermelon. Cracked it open with their tailor-made. The juice ran down their chins as they imprinted the farmer's field. I imagine that seeds were spit from their lips. I imagine that the dysentery that later came planted watermelons in northern Iraq. I imagine that those watermelons still grow, self-sowed. I imagine children eating the fruit born of the soldiers' destruction. The juice runs down their chins. Scientists once found the remains of 11,000-year-old figs in the West Bank. The first cultivated fruit. I imagine fossilized figs. I imagine petrified figs. I imagine that the remains of figs have been buried over with the remains of petrified children in the West Bank. When my daughter was the size of a watermelon in my womb, I imagined that one day I would feed her figs. I imagined her with an olive on each finger. I imagined her with an olive on each finger, popping one by one into her mouth, spreading her fingers wide. I imagined an orange slice in her mouth, fitting her entire smile. Those images have been buried over with the remains of children in Gaza. Even if you paint a watermelon, it will be confiscated. Can light be confiscated? Can a whole people? Can you plant the seed of an olive tree inside of a watermelon? An orange tree, a fig, a child? Are children not our precious fruits? What have we done? What have we done? What have we become when we spit children from our lips like watermelon seeds?
Catherine Parker, wow. Okay, well, I understand where you get the talent from. I'm impressed. Next up, Alex Gold. Come on down.
I forget I'm short. So this is called Differences. I started writing it last year at the last Martin Luther King poetry event, but as I kept moving and growing, I kept adding to it, and this is what I'm at right now. Who knows, it might change. Black, white, purple, green. Neurotypical, neurodivergent. Gay, straight, pink with purple polka dots, it don't matter. You're still terrorized for how you look, who you act, and who your family is. And people say, why does it matter? You're not them. It shouldn't matter what they say, but it's hard. People struggle. Maybe it's the public validation that keeps you hoping and praying to whatever God is out there that people will like you. Or maybe it's because the look of being so popular looks so good because you finally had that reputation you wanted. And then, only then, will you not get picked last for projects, have all the friends you need, and have a happy life? But is it really happy when those true friends push away because they don't like the way you changed? But you only change so that little kid inside you doesn't get hurt anymore. So that little 7-year-old doesn't have to hear, you won't make it in this world, stop trying, no one cares anymore. Your family asking, what happened to you, why are you different? And you would just say you grew up because those differences you made keep us liked, keep us from being bullied, terrorized, hurt. And then, only then, you can be happy, right?
Talented people. Thank you. So as the teamwork makes the dream work. Thank you. Next up, we have Sonyetta Strickland. Please come on down. This is our last person on the list. Anybody else, please feel free. The list is at the front, okay?
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Sonyetta Strickland, as she said. I'm doing a poem from a group that I had worked with at the Hartford Public Library, and it was Negra Soy. And the poem is called If I Were a Butterfly. If I were a butterfly, I'd fly around town, exploring the world's ins and outs, floating and fluttering, up and down, over and under and through. It would be so much to see and so much to do. I'd spread out love, power, hope, strength, and faith all about. All around, we need this love. I let you know God created me. God gave me these radiant, brilliant, illuminating colors, colors of wisdom, powerful and room for change, known as metamorphosizing from the insect, caterpillar, or amphibian change. I'd have a family, many more of changes, and lots more love and knowledge to share. So, see me, beautiful, changing the world. See me, trimmed in illuminating colors, colors to brighten up society. See me, wise and graceful. See me, the fabulous, wonderful queen, fluttering through life's everyday changes. See me, the courageous conqueror. Floating through a cool breeze, beautiful flowers, beautiful trees. See me, the tranquility of life. See me, and know that we are one of the most beautiful flying through on this borrowed time. Time. We are royalty, making a change. See me.
Thank you, Sonyetta Strickland. Powerful.
One more, he's right in front.
Ah, we have one more. Ah, your daddy, Charlie Goldblatt. Carolyn. Come on down. Sorry, I'm like the queen of putting people on the spot. Come on down.
Thank you. I'd like to give a shout out to all the high school students who came today. Raise your hands, wave them around. And I'd like to point out that Jayana and Alex are from my high school. I have 2 poems today, and I found them on a website called freemindsbookclub.org. There is an organization in the Washington, D.C. area, and they work with incarcerated youth. Most of them were incarcerated for things that happened when they were under the age of 18, and they were tried as adults. The population that they serve is 95% African American and 4% Hispanic. My Perfect World by M.Z. In my perfect world, there wouldn't be a child without 2 parents. My perfect world would consist of free college education to those who seek it. In my perfect world, no one would be homeless or go hungry. Only love, joy, respect, peace, and happiness would be allowed in my perfect world. Jealousy, hate, envy, liars, cheaters, and thieves wouldn't be in the human traits in my world of perfection. Uplifting one another and spreading positive vibes on a daily basis would be the model in my perfect world. Killing, drug dealing, gang banging, and mass incarceration wouldn't even be known in my perfect world. Racism, sexism, and police brutality wouldn't exist nowhere on my planet perfection. I often dream about a perfect world like this, hoping one day that these things would become my reality. Wishful thinking, huh? My second poem is titled If I Were Free by H.W. If I were free, I would cherish every breath I breathe. If I were free, I would cherish every hug and every kiss for every day that I missed. If I were free, I would show the world my presence is love, for I am blessed from above. If I were free, I would prove people can change, and we shouldn't be punished forever for things we did at a young age. If I were free, I would cherish every moment outside of this cage. Free.
Give it up, snaps for everybody who blessed this mic. Wow. Very versatile, very powerful, and certainly embodies Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., without a doubt. With that said, we're going to take a 7-minute intermission, okay? And then we'll be back. And, I'll introduce our beautiful keynote speaker, okay? I'm going to introduce our wonderful keynote speaker, okay? Ryan Parker's mission is to disrupt oppressive legacy embedded in educational spaces and to influence and empower educators and youth to also engage in the disruption. Parker's 20-year career in teaching has been dedicated towards challenging United States education norms, reimagining what school looks, sounds, and feels like through a justice lens, and applying that reimagination to his own pedagogy, while influencing and supporting other educators in doing the same. A youth empowerment activist and Manchester, Connecticut School District Race and Equity Coordinator who presents regularly at education conferences in various schools and universities abroad. Parker's work focuses on race in education, the power of hip-hop pedagogy, and the necessity of centering Black and brown youth, amplifying their lived experiences, voices, and brilliance. As the 2019-2023 Poet Laureate of Manchester, Connecticut, and the coach of the Manchester-based youth spoken word poetry slam team called PaperVoices, Parker's work as a poet, educator, and activist extends outside of the walls of his school building. In addition to his work as an educator, Parker is a hip-hop artist / poet, author, husband, father, brothers. He's a brother. He's a mama's boy. He's a chocolate chip cookie lover, and was named as the 2020 Peace Hero of Connecticut and 2022 Connecticut Community Kindness Hero. Parker's most recent book and collection of poems are centered on the necessary narrative of Black joy and excellence that coexists with the trauma narrative that so often dominates the focus in relation to Black minds and bodies. I introduce to all of you beautiful people, Ryan Parker. Come on down, Ryan Parker.
Close your eyes, and I'll be right there soon. I'll be right there soon. Baby, let me be your only nightmare. Close your eyes, and I'll be right there soon. I'll be right there soon. I guess I'm chasing another dream again. Connected with my team, and now I'm feeling like I'm me again. I got dirty, rinsed off, feeling clean again. Haters keep looking, but I'm focused. I ain't seeing them. I know my worth in this church that I'm preaching in. I'm nothing like Sheryl Sandberg, but I keep on leaning in. I drew a thick line quick between peace and sin. Words made of flame, I spit the heat that keeps seeping in. The rest of y'all are just zombies steady sleeping in. I dream with eyes wide so I could see success creeping in. I saw the soldiers in the field and gave them each a pen. Said to hold your breath and write a poem until you breathe again. These mumble rappers need to learn how to speak again. And no, I'm not hating, just teaching, hope I'm reaching them. My tongue's the drum inside this poem, making it beat again. Semantics be organic, it's that whole food I'm feeding them. My mama said to tell the truth, make them believe again. My people paved the path, one day my baby girl will lead the men. Fist up for my people getting free again. Never stop fighting, even if it means I bleed for them. Summon the dragon that pick me up on its wings again and fly above the world, dropping love upon the scene again. Woo! I'm trying to recenter my chi again. Locked inside a box until I learn to turn the key again. Opened it up and breathed deep and let the freedom in. Succeeded to proceed to find peace and harmony again. And now I'm feeling like myself again. Back to good habits, physical and mental health again. Loving life, playing cards that I was dealt again. Invested in myself so now I'm well and I can help my friends. Invested in myself so now I'm well and I can help my friends. Invested in myself so now I'm well. Do me a favor, raise your hand right now if you are investing in yourself. Yes. Yeah. If you have not found the path to do that again, I'm sending you energy to find that ability to do so. When I'm talking about investment in self, I'm talking about what it is that you're putting in your body. What are you putting in your body? And yes, I'm talking about the food and the things that you drink, but who are you allowing to be next to your beautiful excellence? Who are you allowing to seep some of their words into your body? What are you consuming? What media are you consuming? What are you eating? In all senses of that word, eating. What are you consuming? And my hope is that you may continue to invest in yourself. I know that I've invested in myself, so I'm well. And now I can help my friends. And so my hope is that through the ways in which I've invested in myself, that I'm able to invest in my community right now, my immediate community. and that's what I'm going to try to do. But I begin with gratitudes. First and foremost, I give thanks to the ancestors who made it possible for me to be here. My black ancestors who originate from and currently consist of beauty and brilliance paved the path so that I may arrive with these poems in my heart and on my tongue. And I know that it's my responsibility to continue to pave the path for those that I will one day be an ancestor to. I want to give thanks to the indigenous folks responsible for the grounds from which we sit and stand and poem upon this evening. I want to specifically name the Pakanuk tribe. In doing so, and then beyond acknowledgement, I encourage folks to donate towards indigenous orgs. One of the greatest contributions you could give is to learn their story and spread the truth of that story beyond just saying that I acknowledge that I'm on your land or the land that was stolen from you. So I encourage you to do that. And I also want to give thanks to you, each and every one of you who decided to be present in this space, to give your eyes, ears, and hearts, and to have them open to whatever it is that I may give. Of course, shout out to the Human Relations Commission. Shout out to Cassie Smith, who found me worthy of the cause. Shout out to our dope MC for the evening, Versatile Poetic. And can we please clap it up for every single poet who came and already touched this mic this evening. I'm not about snapping, Versatile, y'all. I'm the clapper. I'm like, clap, stomp your feet. I want to hear the noise. I'm anxious. I'm very, very anxious. My anxiety is increasing with my age. And I say that, and it's a complete truth. I'm very anxious. You'll be able to tell by how many sips I take. So I know that I will finish this before my set is even done. I need a couple of things from you. I'm going to get to that in a moment. I just want to kind of read like a preface. I'm not a big preface poet, so I don't typically get into a long explanation of each poem. I kind of just flow through them, and I stop from time to time to give a little bit. But let me take this sip. It is not an ad. So, as I stand before you in this moment, like I mentioned, I'm full of anxiety. And though this is true, I would still take you on a journey. I'm full of anxiety, and I'm still going to take you on a journey. This evening, I will take you on a journey through much of what it is that Dr. King represented in his fight for justice. If you listen close, you will witness how I have tangled in the justice component central to the work of Dr. King. You will witness the expression of the necessity for black liberation in alignment with Dr. King's beliefs and the necessity for the movement of transformational liberation to be a movement of collective mobilization and participation. Through my poem set this evening, you should witness the deconstruction of a whitewashed, whimsical reaccountance of what Dr. King stood for and fought for. There will be a decentering of whiteness and a re-indigenation instead. And while I will surely lift up the realities of turmoil related to the fight against racism and the journey towards black liberation, you will also witness the realities of joy and the realities of beauty and brilliance that black folks originate from and currently consist of. I best process and contribute to the world through the art form and blessing of poetry. So what I provide will be the best way I know how to do what it is that I do in alignment with the path that Dr. Martin Luther King has paved so that I may arrive in this form and in this moment. If through this journey there's something that I say that makes you feel, then I have done my job. If there's something that I say that should make you feel, then I have done my job. My one request from you as an audience is this. Instead of being critical of the artist, I encourage you to dig into yourself as an opportunity for deeper self-reflection towards growth. For example, if I say a line of poetry and it makes you feel some type of way, it makes you feel sad, it makes you feel mad, it makes you feel frustrated or guilty, ask yourself why. Yes. Ask yourself, why was that upsetting, and what does it say about the work that you have to do? What does it say about the work that you have to do so that you can grow into the absolute best version of yourself? Because you deserve that. But you gotta dig into yourself. You gotta dig into yourself. Poetry is about being in community with an opportunity to grow. It's not just about pretty words on a page. It's about being in community with an opportunity to grow. Now, I hope to give you some pretty words on a page, too. That part is great. But I also hope to contribute to your growth, and I also hope to grow in the process myself and to be in community with you. And with that said, I have this final word. It's just, I do not know how to not be me. So here I am. There's so many people who focus on money and ain't even funny no more. And it's crazy to think that the things that we buy can contribute to funding a war. I know I'm not perfect. I know that I'm guilty of all that I say that is wrong. And to truly make change in the game that sustains it would really take more than its poem. Where the action at? Who buying black? Who's invested in the places where we dine at? Who's trying to fix a problem with a hashtag? Who's investing in these queens and these black dads and these black kids? How you're trying to live. Every single thing you take, you know you gotta give. Every single thing you break, you know you gotta fix. Every single thing you drop, you know you gotta lift. Cash system is a trash system. Got us hiding who we are behind a mask system. Got us thinking that we happy when we sad system. Forgetting what we already have system. Forget gun talk. With a love talk. With a hug when the push come to shove talk. Don't you know that we only need one spark to burn it down and build it up again with one heart? We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. The revolution will be televised. It will broadcast across the newscape like a fresh sunrise on the horizon, like an olive tree fresh to bloom. It will smear its hot blood on the faces of everyone who is watching time, telling us all with every rise and every fall, the revolution will be televised. You will actually see the turmoil unraveling. You will actually see the catalyst of freedom dreams metamorphosing into freedom realities. It will unfold on your TikTok and IG feeds and jumbo screens filled with hard to swallow truths. Silences shattered in the spirit of the kind of honesty that can get you somewhere. Somehow. Move you out the propaganda package you've been so tightly sealed in, your head bursting out the box like a new baby born gasping for new breath, and it will be televised. You will be able to see it and watch it and look and look and look and look and not look away. There will be no alternative facts available to you. Only the truth glinting and glimmering like a north star for you to follow. Our destination is hope, because hope tightly tied to action has always been what has gotten us to where we need to go. But before we get there, truth will break us into so many tiny pieces, make us want to deny the undeniable, make us be like so many birds trying to fly away in a storm, but instead we will build a nest out of acknowledgement and the reality of our collective pain, and it will be televised. And the babies will watch it. They will look and look and look and look and look and see everything that we are. They will not need to ask if we were a part of the revolution or what we did with our privilege and power, because it will all be televised. Dr. King was more than a I Have a Dream speech. Let's not forget that this is in honor of Dr. King. Shout out to Coretta Scott. For if it wasn't for her as a part of the movement, we wouldn't have a day to even honor Dr. King to begin with. Y'all better stop whitewashing my Martin. Y'all been treating him like a picket fence for far too long now with your high and wide paintbrush strokes. Attempt to choke the truth out the cause. Y'all better stop it. No more patience for your I have a dream infatuation. The way you handpick Martin's words and craft quotes for comfort, then look the other way when the truth takes a seat at the table. Like Martin ain't told you the problems of racial injustice and economic injustice cannot be solved without a radical redistribution of political and economic power. Like you ain't know Martin owned those truth-telling words? Like you ain't know that Martin owned those truth-telling words, though? Like they ain't lived in the crevices of his teeth? Like Martin ain't said the price that America must pay for the continued oppression of the Negro and other minority groups is the price of its own destruction? Or ain't said white Americans must recognize that justice for black people can't be achieved without radical changes in the structure of our society? Stop whitewashing my Martin. Do not speak to the necessity to be colorblind when we know you see us. Do not translate peaceful protest as acceptance of violent supremacy. Do not act like Martin would not have marched with Patrice. Do not kumbaya the movement. Y'all better stop whitewashing my Martin. Y'all been treating him like a picket fence for far too long. Are you with me? Are you here? I felt like a part of the history, there's many parts that folks don't know about the history of Martin and Coretta. I can't mention one without the other. But one of them is the simple fact that through that journey that he was on, it was not one that was easy, and the intricacies of that very much had to do with what it is that folks are saying that they want him to be, as opposed to what they really wanted him to be, and that's where this next poem comes from. It's called You're Invited, Why Are You Here? This poem is called You're Invited, Why Are You Here? Right? The story of liberation. The story of liberation. Be big, like a train. We worked the train into the set. The people that I hired got it right on time. This is right when it was supposed to come. It was supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen that way. You're invited. Why are you here? Be big. Be so very big, but not too big. Be the kind of big that we want you to be, like small. Like so small that your voice is a whisper's whisper. Like so small your existence is past tense, past memory. Like you became who, what, when, where, and why all in the same singular breath. Be big, but not too big. Be the kind of big that we want you to be, like small. Small. So small you are unknown, unmattered, not mattering. Be big, but not too big. Only enough for us to know that you might have used to been here. Please know that we invite you, but you are not invited. Not in this space. Not here, not there, not anywhere close. Maybe we will allow you to be a fleck on the mountain of us in the distance, a grain of sand, just maybe. I don't think this place was ever meant for me, but I know the ancestors sent for me. I can never be what some pretend to be, no, no, no. But I can never be what some pretend to be, no, no. I used to find myself between rocks and hard places, hard times, hard minds, and all these hard faces. But then I learned to grind and rise up to the large spaces. Haile Selassie methodology, it's all sacred. Homie, it's all basic. You gotta put your faith in. You see them dreams flying by, you better go and chase them. Hop on a spaceship, no time to be wasted. That's how you advance to high stance from basic. And I ain't talking about material or swag or nothing. I'm talking about your mind, body, soul, having something. So many put their hands out but never grab at nothing. Then wonder why they're about to die without having something. No, no. Truth be told, if y'all wait too long, then the soup gets cold. Don't delay another day to go achieve your goal. But in the process of that, don't leave your soul. No, no. I don't think this place was ever meant for me. But I know the ancestors sent for me. I can never be what some pretend to be. No, no, no. I can never be what some pretend to be. No, no. And sometimes I don't want to be anything except existing. And I just want to exist without any prerequisites. I just want to be myself. I just want to be quiet on purpose. I just want to be black and brilliant and beautiful quietly. And my existence in itself is a gift. And that's where this next poem comes from. It's called Quiet on Purpose. Be me, not martyr. Be me, just regular. Be me, not magic, not excellent, not power. Be me, not beauty, not emphasize joy. Be me, just being. Existing in the home of myself, knowing that my ancestors lived there too. Be me, just breathing. Me being beautifully flawed. Be me, not knowing the answer. Be me, not your black friend. Your phenomenal nothing. Be me, a whisper and a yell at the same time. Be me, open space. So much open space leading to a shut-tight room. Nothing but time dripping from the wet paint walls. Be me, undisguised, unhidden, unleashed. Be me, satisfiable. Just standing there, quiet, on purpose. Y'all see what was happening to the whales this past summer? Yeah. Everybody peeped that? Yeah. Like, washing up in the masses, having these collective community formations in the middle of sea and then just disposing of themselves ashore. Here's the poem. It's called What About the Whales, Though? It's like a soundtrack. Right? It's like we planned this, orchestrated. We did that. Did you do that? He called Amtrak, was like, yo, doing a poem set tonight. I need you to fly by at this time and this time. Can you clap it up for yourselves, please? If you haven't taken a moment to breathe deep, please do. If you haven't taken a moment to breathe deep, please do. What about the whales, though? Yeah, I know. Kim Kardashian got lip injections and a brand new makeup line. A criminal president is threatening witnesses and judges and still walks free. There was a buy one, get one free sale on jumbo bags of Cool Ranch Doritos at Target. But what about the whales, though? Last week, the Spike Girls organized a reunion tour, and 1,000 people camped out in a Walmart parking lot to be the first to purchase themselves a Stanley Cup. Gucci releases its new line of glorious, glinting, gold-faced diamond watches, and an AI automobile drove itself across the lengthy landscape of the United States. But what about the whales, though? What about these boldly beautiful, big-bodied sea Buddhas, these sacred symbols of the most palpable magnificence in existence, these empathetic ocean elephants pushing against the grain of all that is man-made, washing themselves ashore, saying, look at me, look at us. We are telling you the absolute truth, and yes, I heard that the NFL Titans have intimate plans to build a new $2.1 billion stadium enlisted in 2027. Taylor Swift is the highest paid musician in existence and got beef with Bobert. I know that there is a new iPhone coming out that will start your car. that will do your taxes and wash your dishes and fold your laundry. But what about the whales, though? Beyonce had a dope-ass concert, but what about the whales, though? The government is speculating alien sightings, but what about the whales, though? Air Jordan construction production is at an all-time high, but what about the whales, though? Amazon is no longer allowing free returns. What about the whales? Tinfoil, Ziploc bags, and Arm & Hammer laundry detergent is 50% off at your local Stop and Shop, but what about the whales, though? Hot Takis, hot Takis, hot Takis, but what about the whales, though? What about the whales? What about these whales and their majestic smooth backs and bellies gliding and glinting in the blue minty moonlight, the gracious gravity of their bodies pulling together, creating heart formations at the center of the sea before disposing of themselves in collective prayer, telling us everything we are not listening to. You can clap. It's hard. It's hard. I feed off of the clapping energy. No snaps for me. Claps only, please. At this time, you know what? I want to give you a break from my voice because it can be like, over and over again. I need to just like pause from that. And what I'd like to invite you to do as a community is turn to somebody next to you. We do a little turn and talk. Turn to somebody next to you. If you could wake up tomorrow morning and speak any other single language, in addition to the one that you already speak, but one other single language. You wake up tomorrow, you could just speak that language. What would that language be and why? Take 1 minute to turn and talk to somebody about that. And find somebody new. If you're too comfortable, you ain't gonna grow. What's the language? When I say one, you say love. One. One. When I say one, you say love. One. One. When I say black is, you say beautiful. Black is. Black is. When I say black is, you say brilliant. Black is. Black is. When I say black is, you say genius. Black is. Black is. Black is. Black is. Good, I'm glad we could bring it back. Can I have an offering? I'm only looking for, I won't call on each and every one of you. This is the teacher in me, you see? I have an offering of a language that someone said that they would pick. And you don't have to raise your hand. You could just name it out. Okay, you could just yell it out. Like, what's a language?
Brazilian Portuguese.
Brazilian Portuguese, Arabic.
Japanese.
Just yell them out. Italian, Japanese, Spanish, Mandarin. Sign language. What's that in the back? Heavenly. Did you say heavenly? Let's go, poet. Let's go. Clap it up for yourselves. Thank you for your participation. This next poem is predicated on this question. If I could pick a language, it would be, well, I'll have the poem reveal it. It's going to be given away just in the title, so. Tongues of birds, ready? Be it that I can't not say something, been inflicted by a jabberjaw condition from the earliest days of life. The words that marched in the bellies of my ancestors now glide through my pen, ride on the slit curves of my lips. I can't not help but to say them. Sometimes it is not a poet wanting to write the poem, but rather the poet not being able to not write the poem. And I suppose if words did not exist, that the poems may arrive in hummed lullaby, which makes me believe that birds too are poets. Makes me wonder if their lullaby chirps are words I simply do not yet know. If I could translate the lullaby and speak to a swallow, what might I say? Or better yet, how might I listen? If I could speak any language in the entire world, it would be the tongue of birds. I'm black like that. I'm going to allow myself to be pushed from the echoes of the earth, self-induced reparations for all I'm worth, and this pull with my own hands, shedding the snake skin of false narratives, the script dictated and orchestrated by conditions outside of my own, but I own me. My body, my home, and I am evicting every trauma-filled tenant. Every stereotype threat, holding myself, my own body in my own arms, remembering the sacredness of this home, remembering my ancestors prayed me into existence, filling my body with beautiful dark, allowing the stars my spirit is made of to ignite the delicious delight. But I am not star, I am world. Sacred land, oceans, and all world, penning poem, holding myself and refusing to let go. Oh, magic of me, beautiful black body. Trauma is not your native language. Keep being black like seeds, like the richest soil for them to enter, for them to bloom. Black like calla lily, like contrast against the moon, like wide peppered spots on ladybug backs. Black like sweet licorice, be black like that, like an opening to somewhere. Black infinite space to something. Black like eyes shut, clamshell tight, relax. Black like sunlit tips of wings of crows, indigo rose, tomato black, poem ink on page black. I had a dream about Jesus, and he was in a bodega in the dream. This is a poem called Bodega Jesus. I saw Jesus in a bodega the other day. He had thick cornrows under a Trayvon Martin hood, decked out in joggers and faded J's. Overheard him talking about salvation with the droopy skinned lady beside him, slurring his opinions through gold fronts. Her standing there like a crooked stop sign with dents in it. Him palming a 40-ounce and a pack of Ritz peanut butter crackers, snapping in and out of barely coherence, peeped track marks on his arms, trails to the scars on his palms, but he didn't see me singing. He just stood there mumbling about deliverance from sin and its consequences and how he misses old Kanye, while droopy skinned lady gave him the deepest of I don't care glares. I wonder if she knew he was Jesus. I wonder if he knew he was Jesus, if he knew the sanctity of this bodega and the crumbling block that it stood on, if he knew that the wall of lottery tickets and cigarettes was our cross, that there is no God greater than the convenience of this store. At this time, in this space, from Slurpees to ramen noodles, beef jerky and vaping jewels, to so many of us standing there in the glory of Goya beans, Cheese Whiz, and Mountain Dew, this be the church for us. The fragmented and forgotten, and yes, even Jesus here rotting. This slow death can only be a sign that we are all going to heaven. Change nothing and nothing changes the world's anguish. I recycle my pain and turn it to pearl language. Black supremacist, middle finger to nemesis, oversimplification of feelings upon the premises. Whoa, the world is on fire, homie, it's been burning. You're reading books with your hearts closed, pretend learning. There ain't a page that could truly tell you the rage, communicating the hate that lives in front of your face. For every death is a child born. Do I equate it to a blessing or a child scorned? I am torn. Always try to be an optimist. My revolution brought me right back to the start of it. It's hard to see long distance with all this fogginess. Catch me squinty-eyed, peeking through binoculars. Trying the freedom dream beyond the pain of bleeding screams. Beyond the fact that blacks ain't considered human beings. Beyond the fact that I'm no better than the rest of them. Even though I stay trying to be the best of them. Peep my investments. Pretty sure I paid the devil too. I gotta make myself better to make a better you. I gotta make myself better to make a better you. I gotta make myself better to make a better you. Thank you. Yo, I was just imagining Dr. King here, present, with an Instagram handle. And so this poem is called If Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Were on Instagram. Yo, if Dr. King were alive and he happened to be on Instagram and for some reason was not catching a shadow ban, I can only imagine what he might be posting in the deep belly of this moment. Maybe he'd be posting a few selfies, a couple of MLK events, maybe even this one, but probably not. And maybe an old photo of him in Coretta, an image of a march with a brief description emphatically saying, "We out here." Probably a Palestinian, with a request for us all to stand against inhumanity. And of course, somewhere on his feed, we may find a letter to Breonna Taylor's mother, to Tamir Rice's mother, to Trayvon Martin's mother, to George Floyd's mother, saying, "We shall overcome, Black Lives Matter." In the 1963's High Noon, there is a sound so sweet that honeybees become more attuned. A rumbling, tumbling hum, wrapped in a preacher man's cadence, and beyond the sound, the words, the truthful meaning of them all, and beyond the words, the march, and beyond the march, the movement, the so much black brilliance, the so much bodacious, bold black beauty, the collective contributions, the strategy, the foundational black woman, the Ella Baker, the Mahalia Jackson, the Dorothy Cotton, the Joanne Robinson, and Rosa Parks, and Coretta, to all of which this occasion is owed to you. Coretta, the occasion owed to you in so many more ways than a single poem could ever tell, and a million more still could not. Triumphant are we, immersed in the roots of this deep, beautiful, black, this brilliance, this effortless genius, my ancestors, the receipts, how Dr. King can speak a poem into the universe and ignite flames in the bones of bodies to the extent that they move, to the extent that we speak up, to the extent that we speak out, to the extent that we act, to the extent that we act as if an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere, because it is. Because it is. And so yes, Dr. King's Instagram would be selfless and therefore would have far less selfies than images of Sudan and the Congo and Gaza and the houseless and the hungry and the very most marginalized, and the magic of the masses coming together and saying no and marching and moving like Martin would be, knowing that no one is free until everyone is free. Just a couple more. It's a short one. It's called Hypocrisy, and it was influenced by a beautiful poet by the name of Noor Hindi, who wrote, "F your lecture on craft, my people are dying." And one of the lines in the poem is, "Colonizers write about flowers." And that's what I begin with, and the poem bloomed from there. Hypocrisy. Colonizers write about flowers and forget about the hands that cultivated the land from which they bloomed. Know nothing of Pakanuk. Know nothing of Navajo, of Choctaw, of Lenape, of Creek. Know nothing of Palestinian. Colonizers write poems about the beauty of lupin and lavender, but leave out the part about the pipeline pushing poison into the bubbling belly of the earth. A colonizer will write a poem about God, put bullets into bodies, break bones of babies, and then go home and kiss their spouse on the mouth. Sit around a dinner table filled with a hot meal and take the lead in saying grace. I'm sick of being called resilient. I know that I'm brilliant. Remove the obstacles. Don't praise me for making it through them. Foolish to give me accolade for my focused behavior. To beat the odds when the odds should have been in my favor. Forget a hashtag. Give me a policy change. Don't matter what your shirt say. I wonder what your worth say. Don't sit on my grave singing me happy birthday. Knee on my neck telling me I'm free to have breath. You lying. Exclamation point on everything black. Question marks are not invited, take your periods back. Angry black man spitting y'all delirious cats. Why would I not be full of anger? You should mirror me back. Facts. No cap, no daps if you do not feel me. No time for those who cannot contribute to what heals me. No time for those who cannot contribute to what heals me. No time for those who cannot contribute to what heals me. Yo, my whole aura ain't always for you. So stop trying to argue with me like you a lawyer trying to prove your case so you don't lose your case. So many moves to make, I just might move to space. This atmosphere's got me trapped in fear. Got me thinking, gosh darn it, what has happened here? I don't want to have to wear another mask in here. I'm just trying to stay alive while being black in here. My mechanism is better vision and better wisdom. Better tools to use for breaking out that mental prison. Fight for myself and all my people, homie, that's the mission. Forget the stray bullets and all the ones that meant to hit them. When we know that the truth is we wish they missed them. So he could come home and have his mama hug and kiss him. So he could come home and have his mama hug and kiss him. We won't forget them. Dag nabbit, I'm back at it with black magic. Black beauty, not black tragic. I can't have it. I'm on some joy stuff, making a lot of noise stuff, raising my black fists just as much as I raise my voice stuff. Holy matrimony got these homies acting phony. If you don't want me in the space, then stop asking for me. The whole truth's only part of the soul's proof. Spit fire like I'm a dragon, be burning your whole roof. And y'all don't even want to know the half of it. Been in the basement trying to move up where the attic is. My whole self, nothing else with no additives. Organic honesty sinking these liars' battleships. White people asking questions just so they could talk. I know my answers don't matter. You keep on laying chalk. I ain't sending light no more, homie, I'm sending dark. Without the beauty of blackness, no one could see a spark. Without the beauty of blackness, no one could see a spark. Without the beauty of blackness. Yeah, you can clap. At the final poem, the teacher in me, I leave you with this one last poem. It's a homework assignment. So I became a teacher for two reasons. One, the perpetual snow day. You know, when they walk up and they're like, you don't got school. And then the other part is like I wanted to be able to give homework assignments. So this poem is called Homework Assignment, and I leave you on this. I want to thank you from the top, side, center, bottom of my heart for opening up to this experience. Like I said, as you leave, as you head home, think about what stung, think about what resonated, what didn't, and think about what you need to do, what work you have to do to grow. If I made you feel I did my job. Homework assignment. Write a poem. Write a poem into the atmosphere, aim it at the pale-skinned moon, dance it off your pen and out your mouth and stretch it past the sky. Let them poems rise like tide and crash like wave, echo like screams in the belly of a cave, and then be still. Be so still like no wind blades of grass, like hummingbird belly, not the wings, still like stone. Like so much dark, still like night, like a vacant country road to somewhere. Write me that poem. Pen me a peach fuzz soft stanza, that warm buttery couplet, that reach out and hug you tight for a long time poem. Write me a howl at the moon poem. Go ahead, howl at the moon. Woo! Write me that zigzag lightning poem stuffed with static electronic sonnets, a poem that can dance on Saturn's rings and kiss you deeply as it sings. Write me a poem that stings. One of those killer bee yellow jacket poems, salt in an open wound poem. Give me some of that venom-filled iambic pentameter, swirl it up with hot sauce and drink it down and spit me some fire-type poem. Write me an afterburn poem, an ice cube slowly melting in your mouth poem, a poem that I can drink from, a quench my thirst type poem. Go off and write me that poem in a journal, on the back of a napkin, on the cuff of your sleeve. Go write me that poem. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Ryan Parker. Yeah, you can clap for him. Wow. They say in order to heal, you have to feel. Yes. Ryan certainly had his feeling, huh? Again, give him another round of applause. Appreciate you. Dr. King, we are living the dream. It's community, right? Thank you all for coming out. Legacy was the theme of this community poem, okay? They're beautiful. The challenge is reading other people's handwriting, okay? That's just the challenge, like I said. So, it goes from here, here to here. They showed out. So these are your words. Legacy I'm gonna let Ryan read it, okay?
Yo, you stand by.
Yeah, I stand by.
You stand
no
by.
Problem. Yeah.
Legacy is, our country was founded as a great experiment, a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. We have struggled to make this country work for everyone. It works if you have the right credentials. This country lives up to its legacy if you are among the privileged. Simplify, unify. May the legacy of our great teacher guide me to a fuller future. Legacy is contribution embodied in others to move on to what's next, known and unknown, leaving behind what's left in a better place than when I found it. Shabum, shabum, shabum. Remembering people. Threw some onomatopoeia in there. There we go. Speaking up to make sure the legacy you want the future to know continues. Legacy is taking the time to remember. Taking the time to remember what has come before you and carrying on these unique memories for generations to come. Legacy open for discovering life's generation, life changes, life growth, legacy power, the creation of God, the dreams before us pass on and on, the strengths, legacy, power. Everybody knows the fight was fixed. Everybody knows the good guys lost. MES, but there is always hope? No. No, it's not like that. There's a question mark at the end. But there's always hope? No. Legacy is our next generation. Pray for peace. Legacy. My hope is that we learn from them, our past, so that we can fight on for a better future for the next generation. Love, forgiveness, equality, kindness, and caring. Legacy is seed we plant that blooms over time. Sometimes we don't see the growth now, but future generations will have the fruit full of the legacy planted. The seeds that I've planted are hope, strength, courage, and determination so that the future is strong. Nourishment focused on flourishing. Encouragement is worth it when inspiring the verse within. The ocean in a drop, the desert in the grain. You are all. You're wise, simultaneously a part of everything. Sea, sand, mountain, land, you cover us with love, peace, hope, determination, and inspiration. Legacy, a seed to birth future legacy. Legacy is the living lifeline of future love, everlasting, lifting the voices of the past into the present to preserve the future. Legacy is existing sometimes when nothing is said or heard but silence. Existing in silence. Legacy is being whoever you want to be and creating your own path and walking that path.
Whoa! Now, thank you, Ryan, for that. Ryan, stay with me. Wow. I have a new thing. I need to put it on TikTok, so it's very simple. It's give yourself some snaps, some pats, and some claps. Give yourself some snaps, some pats, and some claps. Excellent. Thank you, beautiful people. My name is Versatile Poetic. It's been an honor being your MC. Shout out to all of you. Shout out to Ryan Parker. Shout out to the Windsor Art Center. Please join me for a photo if you'd like. In the meantime, you are dismissed. Peace and love, everybody.